Hare Krishna. Hello friends, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. This is Ridendra Rathod and I am preacher of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And today I come with very special lecture. Today I am going to preach Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I am trying to compare Srimad Bhagavad Gita with neuropsychology theory or the theory of the Sigmund Freud or the theory of the sedation theory. I am going to compare with Srimad Bhagavad Gita and make all of you know what are similarities in between both. But before I start my lecture, I would like to introduce Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, written by S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Mahaprabhupada from ISKCON temple. And I must have to say that this is the most authentic source, as well as this is a book of humility rather than religion. This is actually not religious book. Actually, it is a book of pure science and humility. And I am only trying to propagate a humility on basis of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Because after preaching of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we can easily motivate to those people who are actually frustrated and who put their best effort for committing suicide. So I am trying to prevent people from the suicidal death. So this is my initiatives or this is my best effort to do that. So that's why I am preaching Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And don't consider Srimad Bhagavad Gita as a religious book. It is a pure book of the science and humility. It is actually pure book of astrology, biology, chemistry, mathematics. All things are covered into Srimad Bhagavad Gita, because the theory of the astrology as well as the law of the specialization, the theory of the third law of the motion, and so many scientific theories are covered in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. But in this time we all have to connect this all theory with Srimad Bhagavad Gita, because we are failure to do so. That's why we all have to compare Srimad Bhagavad Gita with this all scientific theory. And today I come to conduct this lecture. So let's start. We have to start a lecture on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita versus neuropsychology. Srimad Bhagavad Gita versus Sigmund Freud and the theory of the sedation or sedation theory. Sigmund Freud, the first comparison. Lord Krishna said, whatever we are doing, these all are only result of previous thought or of our unconscious mind. Lord Krishna here clearly stated that whatever we are doing, means whatever we are doing in our current scenario, in our present time, these all are nothing but result of our previous thought or previous thought from our subconscious or unconscious mind. So it is like that. That's why Lord Krishna said we all don't have to repress our thoughts. We all don't have to repress our thoughts and act, because we all have to indulge ourselves with the act, because we are doing so. Then if we are doing so, then we will never make ourselves free from the otherwise we will never make ourselves free from the repressed thoughts or free from the material bondage. So we don't have to repress our thought. We all have to indulge ourselves in activities. So we all are having only two possibilities, that either we will do something or not do something. We don't have any other middle way. So that's why Lord Krishna said like that. Lord Krishna further said in verse number 59, chapter number 2. Verse number 59, chapter number 2, Lord Krishna here said, Vishyavini vartate niharasya devina rasavarjam rasapesya param drashtvani vartate. Lord Krishna here said, Vishyavini vartate niharasya devina rasavarjam rasapesya param drashtvani vartate. Here Lord Krishna, the meaning or the purport of this verse is, the embodied soul may be restricted from the sense of enjoyment. Lord Krishna here clearly stated about the sense of enjoyment, sense enjoyment. Lord Krishna here says the embodied soul may be restricted from the sense enjoyment, though the taste for the sense object remains. Though the taste of the sense object remains, but ceasing such an engagement by expressing the higher taste, he is fixed in the consciousness. That particular person is fixed in the consciousness. Lord Krishna clearly stated that we don't have to restrict ourselves to do something. Lord Krishna here clearly stated we don't have to restrict ourselves to do something. If we do, then we would never make ourselves free from the particular act. If we are keeping ourselves in the restriction, or we are restricting ourselves to do something or some act, then it is like to escape from our real deeds or our karma. So it is like that. We don't have to do. We don't have to keep ourselves in the restriction, or we don't have to. We don't have to restrict ourselves to do something. It is like that, or particular act. Here means if we really want to make ourselves free from the sexual desire or lust. Lord Krishna here clearly stated, if we really want to make ourselves free from the sexual desire or lust, then we don't have to restrict ourselves to indulge in sexual activities. We don't have to escape from the sexual activities. At the same time, we all have to pass from the sexual activities, but we don't have to get attachment. Or we all don't have to think about sexual activities at the 24/7, or we don't have to get an attachment with the sexual activities. Even though we are doing the sexual activities, but we don't have to get attachment. It is like that. And then we would never ever make ourselves free from the sexual desire or lust. If we are escaping from the sexual desire, then sexual activities, then we will never make ourselves free from the sexual desire. In order to make ourselves free from the sexual desire or lust, we all have to indulge ourselves in sexual desire and get an experience, but we don't have to associate with it, or we don't have to get an attachment. So it is like that. We all have to make ourselves free from the attachment, and attachment will definitely make all of us free from the sexual desire or lust, and also from the material bondage. It is like that. What citizen theory stated about this particular thing? Sigmund Freud believed provided the solution that the problem of the origin of the hysteria, and obsessional neurose, the solution to the problem of the origin of the hysteria and obsessional neurons. According to the theory, the repression memory of an early childhood sexual abuse. Here Sigmund Freud clearly stated in his theory, the repression memory of an early childhood sexual abuse or molestation experience, was the essential precondition of the hysterical or obsessional symptoms with an additional of an active sexual experience up to the age of the 8 or the later. So here Sigmund Freud stated about the age. What is after means it is limited 8 years of old. If the person passed from the sexual abuse or molestation, then that particular person will definitely do sexual abuse with someone in his adulthood or in his adult age. The goal of the Freudian therapy and psychoanalysis was bring repressed thought and feeling into the conscience in order to free from the patients from the suffering repetitive distorted emotion. Here Sigmund Freud talked about psychoanalysis, and in his psychoanalysis he stated that to bring a repressed thought and feeling into the consciousness in order to free the patients from the suffering repetitive distorted emotion. The bringing of unconscious thought and feeling to consciousness. The bringing of unconscious thought and feeling to consciousness is brought about by encouraging the patients to talk about the dream and engage in free association in which the patient report their thought without reservation and make no attempt to concentrate while doing so. It is like that. Let's move to the second comparison. Lord Madhav further stated that the experience which a soul took from the one body to another body would determine our personality. Here Lord Madhav clearly stated the experience which a soul took from the one body to the another body would determine our personality. The verse number 8, chapter number 15. Verse number 8, chapter number 15. Here Lord Krishna said, Sariram yada apapanoti, avapanoti, या चापी उत्कर्षम उसका उत्रास मस्ती वरह ग्रहति वाणी समयति वायुर गांधव इष्यत्य. Here Lord Krishna clearly stated, I have to repeat this. Sariram yada avapanoti, yada chapi utkaram asti swaram grahati vatini samyati vayura gandhavana gandhana vayura gandhana ivasyata. Here the meaning of the purport of this verse is, at the time of the death, Lord Krishna here clearly stated, at the time of the death, the consciousness created by the living beings, carries him into the next body. The consciousness created by the living being, carries him to his next body or in next birth. Or it is like a transmigration of the soul from the one body to the another body. The Sigmund Freud stated that our childhood experience determine our adult personality. Sigmund Freud here strongly determined that our childhood experience determined our adult personality. Sigmund Freud said similar things what Lord Krishna stated before Arjuna in the battle of the Mahabharata. Lord Krishna said that our future and personality is decided by our previous karma and past experience, which one was stated by Sigmund Freud. This similar thing is stated by Sigmund Freud. The conclusion, let's move to the conclusion. There are so many scientific theories and psychological theory are derived from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Hence Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the source of all scientific theory. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the source of all scientific theory. Let's move towards the author opinion. It is my personal opinion. Hereby I would have to say that Srimad Bhagavad Gita is neither religious book nor a spiritual book. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is neither religious book nor a spiritual book, but actually it is a book of pure science and humanity. And we all have to follow Srimad Bhagavad Gita in our daily life rather than to put Srimad Bhagavad Gita into temple. If we really want to worship Srimad Bhagavad Gita, then actual worship of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, actual worship of Lord Krishna is to follow Lord Krishna's instruction or follow Srimad Bhagavad Gita in our daily life. So it is a true worship. It is a true worship of Lord Krishna as well as Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So don't consider Srimad Bhagavad Gita as a religious book or as a book of Hinduism. Actually it is a book of humanism. So thanks for listening me. I hope you all enjoy this video. And I hope you all can understand the similarity between Srimad Bhagavad Gita and the theory of the Sigmund Freud or theory of the sedation. So thanks for listening me. Hare Krishna.